Hi, it's Leslie here, and I wanted to talk to you about how we can flip the script on our self-talk when it comes to perimenopause. We can end up really dreading the idea of aging, of hormone change, and I want us to really believe to step into this phase without that doom and gloom of almost like a diagnosis. Perimenopause is not a disease, it is a transition, and it is a transition that we can use to our advantage for our long-term well-being. And that's what I wanted to address really briefly today, because everyone who menstruates, every person who menstruates will go through menopause at some point in their lives. The average age is 51. Some experience it far earlier than that, and actually that has all kinds of long-term health consequences. And others will be, the average age is about 51, 52. And we can decide to a certain extent how we experience it. We may not have much impact over the symptoms that we are likely to experience to a certain extent. Some of that is genetic. But we do have an opportunity to enhance our well-being in a way that minimises the impact of those symptoms, but also helps us to notice and to take action for our long-term well-being, to protect our heart, brain, bones, joints, and to enable us to live well and strong. There's a tendency sometimes for us to feel a bit done too. So I remember thinking how unfair it was, and I've had this conversation with my daughter as well, how unfair it was that women had to have periods. How very inconvenient. And now here we are, and heading into our 40s, going through our 40s and 50s and experiencing the symptoms of perimenopause. Our hormones are playing a game with us again. But it doesn't have to be feel like something that's being done to us. It doesn't have to feel like we've got the bum end of the stick. We can empower. So over the last few years, for example, I've come to embrace my menstrual cycle, to understand it, to allow it to be an empowering experience on a monthly basis, and an indicator of how well I am doing at looking after my health as well. So how I experience my bleed and my premenstrual phase tells me how well I've looked after myself that month. And the perimenopause can also be empowering. Everyone experiences symptoms differently. For some, it can be a struggle, it can be debilitating, but it's still an opportunity to go out there and ask for help, to not sit back and let it happen to you, but to go, actually, I need to look after myself. And whether that is turning up at the doctor's and asking for the right support, or empowering yourself through education so that you can make sure that you go along the right path. It's also an opportunity because in our midlife, as we move out of the phase in our life where we may well be nurturing, whether it's our careers, our businesses, our children, towards actually kind of a more self-directed state, towards living well for the long term. And it's an opportunity for us to refocus on our own well-being. So how we start to talk to ourselves about perimenopause and hormone change and aging will affect how we take action as well. Our brains will pick up on those messages and find ways of reinforcing them to a certain extent. And so taking action to empower yourself through education can be really important. And I'll be adding to this series of videos to hopefully empower you a little bit further on your journey through perimenopause. And if you're around on the 3rd of June and would like to attend one of my 90-minute workshops, that's the next one that's coming up, to empower you with information and understanding and education, as well as some actions that you can take to look after yourself. Have a lovely day, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.